So students, we were going through the chapter The Little Girl, and we have already completed our fourth paragraph of the story, and there is that the little girl Kezia was preparing a birthday gift for his father, and there is a question. So how did he do that? That we are going through, and let's revise a little bit, then we shall proceed ahead, and that is from fifth paragraph onward. Okay, dear children, see, so laboriously with the double curtain, the little girl stitched three sides. Laboriously means here children with a lot of effort or difficulty. So Kezia put in lot of effort to make the birthday gift. She used double curtain and she stitched three sides of the person. Okay. Now, but what to fill it with? He made the questions, but what to fill with it? There was a question for her. So now Kezia had prepared the bag. On the bag shapes of the cushion, she had to stitch the four sides, and before that, she had to fill the cushions with something, and she did not know what to fill the cushions with. The grandmother was out in the garden, and she wandered into mother's bedrooms to look for scraps. Wandered into children, there is one into by chance. Scraps, small pieces of cloth may be there, or paper, etc., that are not needed. That is what we call the scraps. So Kezia was confused that what would she use to fill the cushions with. As her grandmother was out in the garden and she was just looking for something. She reached her mother's bedroom. She was looking for bits of paper or cloth to stuff into the cushions. So, after preparing the bag, what is to be put inside it? That was a very big question for little girl Kezia. And what Kezia thought there, you see, and you see, she is very much confused over there. That what should she use to fill the cushions with? As her grandmother was out in the garden and she was just looking for something, she reached her mother's bedroom. She was looking for bits of papers or cloth to stuff into the cushions. So, on the bed table, she discovered a great many sheets of fine paper. Gathered them up, tore them into tiny pieces, and stuffed her case. Then sewed up the four sides of the cushion. Now, Kezia is a small little girl and she is very young. And now what she does, on the bed table, she found a heap of sheets of paper. So she just gathered all the sheets, then tore them and stuffed those pieces of paper into cushion. And then she stitched the four sides of the cushions, and she had prepared a birthday gift for her father. So many of you can relate to Kezia's act. Many children do such things unknowingly. They do not intend to create any mischiefs or harm anyone, but they end up doing it. Now Kezia has torn some important papers, and she knew it not because she was very young, younger than you also, and she needed scraps that is to be filled with the cushion. But what happened, you see there, So she found that paper near the on the bed table, and she knew it. Not that there was the important for his father. And what did she do? You see here. Yes, she tore all the paper into pieces and put it into the cushions and stitched there, the fourth side. Okay. That night there was a hue and cry in the house. Father's great speech for the port authority had been lost. Hue and cry means angry protest. Now there was a lot of shouting in the house because Kejia's father had prepared a speech for the port authority for a particular meeting, and he was unable to find it, and that was prepared from the before on a paper, and now that paper is not found there, and because of that he is very much confused over there, and he is angry. And he was unable to find it. Now we all know where the speech has gone. It has been formed into teeny pieces, and Kezia has stuffed it into the cushions. And you see, and that speech, which was written on a paper, and that was torn into pieces by Kezia and put it into the cushions for his father's birthday gift. That we know. Okay, then what happened? Rooms were searched. Rooms were searched. And you see, servants question. So whatever servants were working over there in that house, they all were asked. They all were questions. Okay? Finally, mother came into Kejia's room. And what happened? You see here, finally, mother came into Kejia's room. Now, the family searched everywhere. They asked the servants, but no one knew where the sheets of paper had gone. And finally, the mother reached the Kejia's room. Okay, so what happened? After searching the whole room, they could not find it here and there. And finally, mother went into the rooms of Kezia there and searched. Kezia, I suppose you didn't see some papers on the table in your room. So it was the questions to little girl Kezia. Kezia, I suppose you didn't see some papers on a table in our room. Then what happened? So Kejia's mother asked her. Kejia's mother asked her that did she see some papers lying on a table in her bedroom, in her mother's room? So it was the questions to little girl Kezia. Oh yes, she said, I told them off for my surprise. And you see, the little girl Kezia replied over there to her mother. Oh yes, she said, I told them off for my surprise. Now, here we get to see that Kezia is an innocent girl. She did not intend to harm anyone. She was just preparing her birthday gift. And so very truly she tells her mother that she found some pieces of paper and she needed them to stuff into the cushion. So she tore them and prepared her surprise gift. That is a birthday gift that she had prepared for her father. Unknowingly, Kezia had done a great disaster there. So she, what? Screamed mother dear, what? Come straight down to the dining room this instant. Then what happened? Now Kejia's mother is so furious when she comes to know that Kezia has torn the speech that her father is looking for. And so she orders Kezia to come down into the dining room at that very moment. Then what happened, children? Let's see. And she was dragged down to where father was pacing to and fro, hands behind his back. Now, Kejia's father is full of tension as his important document has been lost. Kezia has torn it into pieces. Now Kezia will be scolded for the mischief that she has done. Well, he said sharply, well, okay. Mother explained. He stopped and stared at the child. Did you do that? No, she whispers. Mother, go up to her room and face down the demon. See, there is a child's put to bed this instant. The demon thing, that means used to express anger at something. That is what the demon thinks. Okay. So then see, now why Kejia's father's referring to the cautions that he has prepared a demon thing because he is angry at the cousin. Because Kezia has torn his important document to prepare it. Now he is very angry with Kezia and he stares at her and asked her if she had torn the papers. Kezia was so scared that she was again stammering, and then Kejia's father ordered mother to go and bring their cousins downstairs and asked her to put Kezia to bed at that very moment. Crying too much to explain, she lay in the shadows room watching the evening light make a sad little pattern on the floor. Shadow room means here, children, that as it was dark, there was a light outside the room which was making shadows in the room. A sad little pattern refers to the sad atmospheres in the room. Okay? Kezia wanted to justify her actions as she was innocent. She determined to harm her father. She was just preparing a surprise birthday gift for him. Kezia was very sad. She had been happy that she had prepared a surprise for her father and she would like it, but on the other hand, she had accidentally committed a disaster. Then father came into the room with a ruler in his hands. Now he is about to punish Kezia for the wrong act she has done. I am going to beat you for this, he said. And what happened? You see, father told over there to Kezia to beat for that what she did. Now he is about to punish Kezia for the wrong act she has done. I am going to beat you for this, he said. Oh no, 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 she screamed, hiding under the bedclothes. And you see, bedclothes refers to the sheets, the top sheets that you cover yourselves when you are sleeping. Now Kejia's father told her that he would beat her with the ruler. Kezia was so scared that she tried to hide under the sheets. He pulled them aside. Sit up here and hold out your hands. You must be touched once and for all not to touch what does not belong to you. Then what happened, you see? Now, here we explain her, here we come to know that why Kejia's father was being strict with her. Why was he punishing her? Because he wanted Kejia to know these things once for all, that she should not touch that thing that does not belong to her. He wanted to teach her these things that it benefited in her future life. Right now, she was a small child. She did not know what was important and what was not important. That is why unknowingly she has torn the important document of her father, and so he was punishing her. He did not want to harm Kejia, but he wanted that Kejia should know that in future she should not touch anything that does not belong to her. But it was for your birthday. Kejia tried to explain her position. She said that she had been preparing a birthday gift for her father and had to stop it with something. She just tore the pages to stop them into the cushion. She was trying to explain to him that she was just preparing a birthday gift for him. She wanted to give him a surprise. She did not want to tear his important document. But Kejia's father did not listen to her excuses. So Kejia's father did not listen to her excuses here, because there was a very much important paper for him, because he was going to deliver a speech there, and that speech is written in that paper. Okay. Down came the ruler on her little pink palms. Kejia's father hit the palms of her hand with the ruler. Hours later, when grandmother had wrapped her in a shawl and rocked her in the rocking chair, the child clung to her soft body. Clung, that means to attach yourself to something. Now Kejia was so afraid. She had got beating. Her father had hit her small little palms with the ruler, and many hours later, her grandmother wrapped in a shawl and was trying to pacify her. She made her sit in her lap on a rocking chair, and she was trying to put Kejia to sleep, and Kejia clung to her grandmother. What did God make fathers for? She sobbed. What did God make fathers for? She sobbed. And you see, so Kejia was still not comfortable. She was crying, and she said that God should not have made fathers. She hated her father. She was so innocent. She did not know what wrong she had done. She was just preparing a gift for him. She was heartbroken as he did not understand her, and said that God should not have made fathers. So children, here is a clean hanky, darling, and see what happened next. Here is a clean hanky, darling. Blow your nose. Go to sleep. Pet. Go to sleep, pet. You will forget all about in the morning. I tried to explain to father, but he was too upset to listen tonight. So then what happened, you see? Now Kejia's grandmother was trying to pacify her. She gave her a handkerchief to blow her nose in it and go to sleep. She added that by morning Kezia would forget the beating, and Kezia tried to justify herself. She said that she was trying to explain to him the reasons for tearing the sheets of papers, but he was not ready to listen to her. So again, we see that the little child was so innocent. She did not realize that her father hid her to teach her a lesson, so that she did not toss anything that did not belong to her. But the child never forgot. Next time she saw him, she quickly put both hands behind her back, and a red color flew into her cheeks. Now, Kezia's grandmother had told her to go to sleep, and that by morning she would forget the beating that her father gave her. But Kezia never forgot the beating that she had got. Whenever she saw her father approaching, she would keep her hands behind her back because she felt that maybe he would hit her again, and red color flew into her cheeks. So whenever she saw her father, she got scared and her cheeks got full of red color. So children, next paragraph will come here. The McDonald's lived next door. They had 5 children. Looking through a gap in the fence, the little girl saw them playing tag in the evening. The father with the baby Mao on his shoulders, 2 little girls hanging to his coat's pockets, ran round and round the flower's bed, shaking with laughter. Once he saw the boys turn the hose on him, and he tried to catch them laughing all the time. So here the writer tells us about Kezia's neighbors. Her neighbors were family named McDonald's. In all the McDonald's had 5 children, and Kezia would peep at them through a hole in the fence. She would see that the family had a lot of fun. They played a game called tag. Tag is a children's game of catching one another like we play catch. So all the children, along with their father, would have a lot of fun. Mr. McDonald would make his little baby Mao sit on his shoulders, and the 2 little daughters that he had, they would hang on to his coat pockets. So all the children were so much attached to their father. They loved him so much that they would stick to him, and then they would run around the garden, around the flower beds, and they would laugh and laugh and love. Kezia also wanted to have such fun with her father, and she missed it. One day she was that the little sons of Mrs. So one day she saw that the little sons of Mrs. McDonald opened the hose on him. They opened the water pipe and tried to make him wait. But Mr. McDonald was not angry with them. He tried to catch them, and he was laughing. This was very strange for Kezia, because her father was just the opposite of Mr. McDonald. Then it was she decided there were different sports of father. So what happened, you see children, that it was decided there were different sorts of fathers. Now, when Kezia saw Mr. MacDonald, she realized that he was quite opposite to her father. She felt that God had made various kinds of father. Suddenly, one day, mother became ill and she and grandmother went to hospital. So what happened, you see children? One day Kezia's mother fell ill. So she was taken to the hospitals and the grandmother also went along with her. The little girl was left alone in the house with Alice, the cook. That was all right in the daytime, but while Alice was putting her to bed, she grew suddenly afraid. Now Kezia was all alone at home with the cook. The name of the cook is Alice. Now Kezia was fine during the day, but at night when the cook put Kezia to bed all alone, Kezia started feeling scared. What will I do if I have a nightmare? She asked. Nightmare means a bad dream. Dusapna. Kezia asked Alice that if she had a bad dream, what would she do all alone? Okay? Then what happened, you see children? So Kezia asked Alice that if she had a bad dream, what would she do all alone? I often have nightmares and Granny takes me into her bed. I can't stay in the dark, it all gets whispery. Kezia explains to Alice that whenever she had nightmares, she would go to her grandmother and she would sleep with her. She heard that means she said that she could not stay all alone in the dark because she would be scared. She could hear different kinds of whispering sounds which made her feel that there was someone around her. You just go to sleep, child, said Alice, pulling off her socks, and don't you scream and wake your poor pa. So Kezia's father was sleeping in the next room and Alice told Kezia to sleep quietly. She removed Kezia's socks and asked her not to scream. She warned her not to scream and wake her father, but Kezia was helpless. But the same old nightmare came. The same nightmare came. The butcher with a knife and a rope who came nearer and nearer, smiling that dreadful smile, while she could not move, could only stand still, crying out, "Grandma, Grandma!" She woke, shivering to see father beside her bed, a candle in his hand. A butcher is a person who cuts animals, who cuts meat. So now, children, what happened? Now there is a nightmare that Kezia had often. She would see a butcher. So these butchers would hold a big knife, a huge butcher's knife and a rope, and he would approach Kezia. He had a dreadful smile on his face. And once Kezia would see him, she would feel that she was unable to move. She was so much scared of him She was terrified to see this butcher, and in her sleep, Kezia cried out for help. She called for her she called for her grandmother. When Kezia woke up, she was shivering. She was trembling, and she saw that her father was standing next to her bed, and he was holding a candle in his hand. So Kezia's father had heard her screams, and he had heard that Kezia was calling for her grandmother, and he had to come to help her. What's the matter? He said. Now he asked Kezia what was the matter. Why he was screaming, "Oh, a butcher, a knife, I want grain." Kezia was still scared of the nightmare, and you see, she said that there was a butcher. He was holding a dreadful knife, and she wanted her grandmother. He blew out the candle, bent down, and caught up the child in his arms, crying her along the passage to the bedroom. So here we can see the affections that Kezia's father has for her. He blew the candle off, he lifted her and carried her to his bedroom. A newspaper was on the bed. He put away the paper, then carefully tucked up the child. Tucked up means covered up nicely in bed. Kezia's father lay her in his bed next to him and covered her with the top sheets. He lay down beside her, half asleep still with the butcher's smile all about her. It seems she crept close to him, snuggled her head under his arm, held tightly to his shirt. So children, snuggle means here moved into a warm, comfortable positions or close to another person. That is what the snuggle. So then now Kezia felt that her father's affection. Now Kezia felt her father's affection, and so she went close to him. She snuggled herself towards her father, and she held his shirt tightly so that she would not feel scared again. And now Kezia had overcome her fear of her father. Then the dark did not matter. She lay still. Now, once Kezia was with her father, she was no longer afraid. Here, rub your feet against my legs and get them warm, said father. He asked Kezia to rub her feet against his legs so that they become warm. Then what happened? You see, tried out. He slept before the little girl. A funny feeling came over her. A funny feeling came over her. So as Kezia father was very tired, he slept before she did. A funny feeling came over her. Poor father, not so big after all, and with no one look after him. He was harder than grandmother, but it was a nice hardness. And every day she had to work and was too tired to be a Mr. McDonald. She had turned off all his beautiful writing. She stayed suddenly and sighed. Then what happened? You see, So children, she stirred suddenly and sighed. Now, here Kezia realizes her mistakes and she had affections towards her father. She felt her father was a poor man. He worked so hard. He was not so big as she found him to be earlier. Now she felt that her father was a poor man who worked very hard, and so he got so terrified that he went off to sleep and did not play with her like Mr. MacDonald did with the children. But Kezia felt that her father's heart was also full of love for her. She realizes that she has torn off his important document, the speech that he has written, and all these realizations makes you take a deep breath. She realizes that she had been wrong, and that is why her father had beaten her. He had been so strict with her. What is the matter? Asked her father. Another dream. Another dream? What is the matter? Asked her father. Another dream. Although Kezia's father was asleep, he heard her sigh. He heard the sounds that Kezia made, and he asked her what the matter was. Was she again watching a bad dream? Oh, said the little girl, my head on your heart. I can hear it going. What a big heart you have got, father dear. Kezia replied to her father that she had placed her head on her father's heart, and she could hear his father's heartbeat. And she complimented her father that he had a big heart. So Kezia is showing her love for her father, as she had realized that her father also loved her very much. So children, this is what the little girl is the story of a little girl. The little girl is the story of a little girl, Kezia, who misunderstood her father's strictness and usually remained scared of him. She kept a distance from him. Whenever he would be at home, she considered him to be as big as a giant. To be as big as a giant. She would often get nervous and stutter while talking to him. She longed for his love and affections like her neighbor, Mr. MacDonald. Once she was kept indoors as she was affected by cold. Her grandmother suggested that she make a gift for her father's birthday next week. They decided that Kezia would make a pincushions for him. Kezia made beautiful pincushions, but she accidentally made a mistake. She filled it with bits of paper that she got by tearing her father's important speech. She was punished for that. This incident further estranged Kezia from her father. She would often look at the neighbors, the MacDonalds, playing joyously in their lawn. Mr. MacDonald was such a good father and played so lovingly with his children. She wondered he might be different sort of father. She wondered that he might be a different sort of father. Once her mother fell ill and was hospitalized. She was left alone at home under the care of the cook. At night she had a nightmare and woke up screaming. She found her father standing by her besides. He picked her up and took her off her room. He tucked her up in his bed and soon fell asleep. Kezia felt secure lying near her father. She realized that her father was not as big as a giant. She felt the beating of her father's loving large heart. Finally, she realized her father was very loving and had a generous heart. So, dear children, this is all about it. So, generally, what happens is when the children are strict by their parents, they think that their parents are not justified, but what they do, that is for their betterment, they realize later. So this is all about the story, the little girl children. I hope you must have understood it well. God bless you. Read well, study well.